Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the session of Huawei IMDA Partnership, Global Platform for Local SMEs. I'm Jia Yi, your MC for this session. During this panel discussion, our distinguished panelists will be sharing a new initiative that will enable partners to find solutions to designated problems and scale their businesses. There will be a Q&A session at the end of this panel, and audience are welcome to actually contribute your questions you might have through the slido.com. Yeah. So instructions are as shown in the slides. So without further ado, let me now introduce you to the panelists. First up, let's have Ms. Eveline Lim, Deputy Director of IMDA ICT Industry Development, who has vast experience in emerging technologies such as data analytics and AI. She is constantly looking out for opportunity to seek partnership between MSCs and SMEs. So Ms. Eveline, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you. Welcome to all of you. It's right after lunch, so I hope you all will find this beneficial. Thank you for attending this industry briefing 2, which is a strategic partnership between IMDA as well as Huawei. So this strategic collaboration started last year in July. So just recently in May, on 21st, we IMDA actually launched the digital economy framework for action plan. So we recognize the importance of a growing digital economy. And of course, we know that being in a digital economy, the driver for digitalization actually helps in the production and the consumption of digital food, services, as well as drive economic activities. It is a foundation, and because of that, there's the need to grow and bring together digital platform providers as well as them building an ecosystem of suppliers in order to deliver these critical services. So in the digital economy, the digital platform actually brings about transformational business models where these platform providers, together with their ecosystem, will bring together new services that is a paradigm shift. We all know that, and we can see so many startups out there that's also trying to forge partnership with one another. This shift can actually result in the companies having the ability to deliver faster, cheaper, and of course leading to the creation of new opportunities for growth and expansion to markets in the region. So knowing this, right, actually IMDA developed this strategic partners program to enable Singapore-based technology companies to plug into this ecosystem and this paradigm shift by establishing collaborations between the MNCs, leading platform players like Huawei, to support, scale up, and ultimately bring these selected partners, which are the ICT SMEs, as strategic partners and ecosystem players and partners overseas. When we launched this strategic partnership program last year, Huawei was the first one to sign this MOI with us. And the intent is to tap on the IoT platform that they have. So they will share more later on by Teck. And of course, Huawei's intent is to their objective is to bring about global problem statements from all over the world. They have presence all around the world, and this provides opportunities for ICT SMEs to go to these markets, which are in 170 offices around the Huawei offices. So where appropriate, what Huawei will do is to bundle their solutions with yours. They will enable you, and of course, they will also work with you closely to develop a go-to-market plan and then market and sell your solution to global markets. So Huawei will bring about and facilitate technology transfer. So they have workshops, they have engineering team, and they'll provide early access of their technology to these selected partners. Today is not new. Today marks the second industry briefing that we are organizing. The first one, as mentioned, was conducted last year in 8 December. And during the last call, the focus was in 3 areas. It's big data, video content analytics, there's the centralized asset management and maintenance, and there's specific looking at predictive lift analytics as well. From that call, there were actually 17 proposals submitted, and out of 16 companies, and out of which Huawei actually selected 9 of them. You can see a couple of them shortlisted. They are actually exhibiting outside at the Teck alley. And from this experience, we will have one of the partners later also sharing their experience from working with Huawei. Works are actually in progress for these partners to onboard, and some of them will be actually working on the go-to-market soon. So in today's briefing, Huawei will be calling for partners focusing on 2 areas, smart retail and F&B, as well as smart campus and parks. The call for partners for this round will include 2 aspects. One is a point solution partners, and the second is we are trying to integrate and cluster these solutions so that they can actually do POC with users. So I hope all of you will participate actively and look forward to clarifying questions that you may have at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Eveline. Next up, we have Mr. Teck Guan, Director of Huawei South Pacific Strategy Marketing Department, and has over 28 years of experience in the ICT industry, with primary focus on Smart Nation. His specialization includes the space of Smart Nation, Smart City, and Cloud Solution. Mr. Neil, please.
Hi, good afternoon. First thing, just to apologize, I just have a sore throat, so hope that you can hear me, right? And my surname is Neo, N-E-O. Thank you, right? So you just call me Neo will do, because sometimes, you know, Singapore names, right? If I go to Philippines, they call me Mr. Guan. My full name is Neo Teck Guan. So I'm from Huawei, it's a local Singaporean. So I joined the company for 7 years. Now, as a show of hand, how many of you here know who is Huawei? Wow. How many of you carry Huawei's phone? All Apple, right? Apple and Samsung, right? I know. Okay, so today is not talking about consumer products, you know, all this. I'm going to share with you a little bit more in terms of what you call the strategic partnership program. So as what Eveline has mentioned, this is actually one of the joint program between Huawei and IMDA. Right, we see IMDA to be the one running as a program office, and Huawei is to be the party that provide the global platforms. So global platform we can think about is because we are operating in, just I mentioned, 170 countries. So you do have the reach, and in this country you have many research center like open labs to allow solution to be integrated. We also provide CSIC, the Customer Solution Center, so allow solution to be showcased. So these are very good platform. We call it global platforms for our Singapore SMB to ride on top so that it can actually conduct some additional business, you know, not just focusing in local market, but going overseas, all right? So today the team is really talking about, you know, global platforms for local SMBs. So to start, first of all, I think some of you may be new because I think IMDA sent out the invite to all of you. And it was mentioned in there called SPP, right? So SPP is something called strategic partnership, strategic partner programs, right? Can we have the next slide? Okay. So this is actually what just I mentioned. I'm going to run through quickly on the intro itself. Done in somewhere in July 2017, and through some of the delays, we actually conducted the first industry briefing on the 8th of December. All right. Can we move on to the next one? So key objectives, if you really look at it, is to accelerate the growth of the local SME. Can we have the mic, please? Oh. Sorry. I think it's better for me to talk to you this way so that I can see the text at the same time talking to you, right? Hope it's okay, yeah? Okay, so three key outcomes we are trying to achieve from this objective is accelerate the growth of the local SME, leverage Huawei's technical expertise, and our go-to-market strengths or that for the Go business network, and then resolve the challenges in the local context, right? Now, three outcomes that we're trying to achieve is one is onboard the local SME as our Huawei's partner. We do have a partner programs that allow us to onboard some of the SME, and then you'll be known, to the world once you are as part of our SME partners. And then work on possible local projects. So first part that we are thinking about is bring you to the local market, right? Package the solution, bring the market, and then if your solution is proven, then we can think about how to move you, to the next level, which is the international markets, right? So that is actually the point number 3, right? Can I use this one to click? Okay. All right, so now the program actually started with this term called I5 Lab, right? So I5 actually, there's a 5I that you can see there in yellow, right? ICT, innovation, incubation, internationalization, and integration, okay? So what we felt is that, as a SME, when you work with us, right, first thing we want to do is look at the innovation piece, innovation area, help to integrate the solution, and then the incubation is more doing the local deployment, and then the internationalization is more looking at how can we take the solution that you have locally deployed and replicate overseas, right? So some of the slides, I believe, we have put a website and then we can share with you. So I'm going to quickly run through this, right? Just now mentioned by Eveline 3 problem statement, one on video, big data, video analytics, one on the central asset management with IoT, and the last one is on life cycle management, right? Now, all the partners that so far we work with, right, they came into our Open Lab and our CSIC to conduct the solution, okay? Now, what we have in the Open Lab is basically a set of all the different use cases. We have a data center with all the needed ICT compute power, storage, network you can tag on, right? We provide the network access, all that. So all the ICT related solutions are all there. So making it easy for the SMEs to come in, get into our place, and then start doing some of the integration work. And then for solution that is ready, we will put it into the CSIC. We call it Customer Solution Innovation and Integration Experience Center. Very long, you just call it Customer Solution Center, all right? So this center, what we did was all the solution that we have done, we will package into a CSIC, and worldwide we have about 60 CSICs. And this is the one that we use to host all the VIPs, the ministers, the CXO level in the different countries. So the solution that we package for you will go inside here. And then depending on the needs, your solution may be pulled out, by the different front office team. They can share it, to their customer. So this call can come anytime once you are part of the program. Okay, so the next question is SPP. Now I know it, where we are now, all right? The process is this, we do the industry briefing, then we do the submission of proposal, right? This onboarding. Now onboarding is the part that is taking a lot longer time. And in fact, when we shortlisted the 9 and they do onboarding, to tell you the truth, we have provisioned all the resource, and up to some point we realized that we are out of resource. Okay, because the center is not something for commercial, so it's only limited resources. So then we have to reprioritize. So this thing can happen, and as a result, there are some delays there, right? But I think now we added in more resources, and we are going to keep on moving on that. Okay. Now for solution that is eventually onboarded, and we will do the certification to make sure they are stable on our platform. And then the next part that we're going to do is put into CSIC Open Lab for showcasing. And once it's in that stage, then we can talk about go-to-market. All right? So that is actually what we are doing now. So below, you can see the SBP program timeline. So this one I'm not going to highlight too much because that really is everything done all the way until now is somewhere in May, right? And in June, I will have to highlight that in our Huawei booth later, you will see there's about some of the vendors plus a tech alley. We have some companies that is also there. The team for us to choose some of the SMEs to work with us is our next target area is on retail and smart campus. So I'm going to share a bit more detail on that later. So these are the short-listed SMEs, right? So for now, I think because there's a lot of hard work done by all the companies, so I got to mention their name one by one, all right? Overdrive, Tech Studio, Green Concept, Evercomm, XR Vision, Xera Labs, Trachomatic, Anical, and the last one, B Dimension. So all of them are actually our shortlisted partners currently. Some of you here may want to look through, my next sections of discussion, and if you are interested to participate, we can go through the journey. Now, it is obviously not easy for us to work together, right? There's so much that, as a technology company like Huawei, we can provide. I think for some SME, you are more focused on business, but these two need to come together, all right? If you keep focusing on business, then we may have some issues. But if you keep focusing on technology, then your company may have issues. So they need to have a balance between the two, right? How to balance out, the business as well as the R&D, so that we can move on together, all right? Okay, so what's next? I created this slide to make sure that every one of us is clear, right? So we run in 2 tracks. Track 1, we are looking at some of the point solution, meaning all the SME that we shortlisted, they may have already got some existing market, they already got some package solution. That is the point solution that we are talking about. That means by itself you can survive, you can sell, right? So that we are done in December, round 1. Now in June, we are doing round 2, which is now, right? And then maybe the round 3, you are looking at maybe another 4 or 5 months later. Okay, that is actually what our plan is, okay? The MOU that we signed with IMDA, we need to bring in at least 30 partners, 30. For round 1, only achieved 9. So we have another few more rounds to go, okay? And for track 2, we are now looking at integrated industry solution. When you say integrated industry solution, meaning I look at one of the vertical industry, for example, retail. And then retail, there are many things, right? You got point of sales, and there are many point of sale vendors. When you talk about e-menu, there are many e-menu company. The back kitchen, central kitchen solution, how to prepare the food, how to get the queue, everything. So there are many solutions. What about video surveillance? Every shops will need, right? What about loyalty program? Every company will need, right? But then when an owner look at this, right, I need to get all these systems out. I may have 10, 20 of them, or I may have 50 of the different applications. How to make the integration? And you probably wanted to look at the business more than you want to look at the IT, right? So as a result, a lot of them don't implement. So our solution, our thinking is how can we create an industry integrated solution? Do one single package. Make it cheap enough so that we can address, and pass it to some of these shop owners. And they can just go to maybe one service provider, sign up, pay a single fee, and then they can get a full solution that they need. Of course, the solution, depending on the price, you can do certain tiering, right? Some maybe it's a light version, all that. So this is actually our idea for track 2. That means track 1 is more point solution, track 2 is more integrated solution. So track 2 is really now also. So we are running round 2 and round 1. So hopefully you understand. So this session is track 1 round 2 and track 2 round 1. Okay, I don't know. I hope this slide will help to address that confusion, right? Okay, the next one, let me just talk about track 1. So essentially when you look at, okay, track 1 point solutions, right? Basically, like I highlighted, 70 proposals received, round 1. So we are trying to look at round 2 and round 3 to have another 40 more participants, right? So I don't know, I put 20 lah. So hopefully we have good solution that we can put more. So if it's not so good, I got to work harder for the round 3, round 4, round 5, I don't know how many rounds, right? But I think we should be able to make it, based on that, for maybe the next 2 or 3 rounds, okay? Now for this track 1, right? Okay. For this track 1, what happened is, the way I look at it is, because it's point solution, so low integration effort needed, right? And package solution with good local market demand is actually what we are targeting at. And of course, goes to CSIC, we bring it to overseas. So this is actually where the track 1 is talking about, okay? Now for the track 2, it's a bit more complicated, because track 2 means you are looking at defining an industry framework, getting the different partners to provide solutions that fit into the framework, and they require different users, right? So first of all, you need to address the first one is, let me see here. Okay, the end user, right? You must have somebody to foot the bill. So we are looking for somebody can be the end user. I'm not sure whether in the audience here, all of you are technology company providing innovative solution, or there are some users, some end users. End users are the one consuming the technology. So if you are the end users, you can look at, some of the problem statement to give us, right? So that we can then look at some of the SME that we have already recruited and the SME that we are trying to recruit in the future. How can we put them together to solve your problem, okay? So what we are looking at is end user provide problem statement, SPP, SME to provide a solution integration. Now IMDA definitely, Eveline side will provide the, the directions, and regulations. We are looking at carrier to provide a support and maintenance. Why carrier? Trusted, big enough, resources are there, they have a sales team, they can build a big platforms, scalability is there. So these are things that we think, right? But of course, not necessary to be carrier. Whoever interested that we can work with us, maybe enterprise, SI company or whoever, these are things that we can explore, right? And then, of course, Huawei, we provide the technology and platform, right? So just now I mentioned about CSIC, Open Lab, we talk about Open Lab resources, the data center solutions, services, storage, server, network, internet connectivity, even the office, we have that. So if you are some of them wanted to really work with us, some of the basic facilities are all provided, including the ICT technologies, services, okay? So with this industry community that we're trying to build, now we realize that even just the SPP SME may not be enough, so we may have to bring some other SME in. So this some other SME could be somebody we know in the market, then they introduce, we will bring them in to fill in the gaps for the industry, the framework. All right, so we need the industry framework so that these are addition to the SPP program that we need to bring in. Okay. Now, this project will require more integration effort. It is a comprehensive industry solution, and we believe after we have done it, right, it can be a one-hop transformations for a lot of companies, all right, in the targeted industry. Okay. So below here, what we are talking about is really the integrated, so it can be a light solution, standard or premium solution. So it depends on how you package it, right, eventually. Now I'm going to spend a bit more time talking about the problem statement now, right? So 2 problem statements for this round, round 2. Track 1, round 2 for the, the point solution that we're looking at. So the first solution statement, problem statement is integrated retail and F&B solution. All right. Now, what we see is in the current industries, right, there are many good applications, silo application, right? Point of sales very good, or e-menu very good, right? But they are not integrated. And for system owner, like just now I mentioned, to be able to implement all these solutions together is a lot of effort needed and also a lot of complexity. Okay. So what we felt that a simplified version need to be there, right? To provide integrated retail and F&B solution. All right. And trying to make this solution turnkey. All right, so when you say turnkey means I come to one party, I subscribe, I pay a fee, and the end result is I get all the services done, based on that scope, defined. So it actually get rid of all this trouble about doing ICT implementation for the shop owners, so they can focus on their core business. Okay. The second problem is more on smart and green campus solution. All right, so campus here in Singapore term, we talk about, you're talking about NUS, you're talking about university, you're talking about, all these institutes, right? But actually, smart campus in Huawei's term can be smart estate, smart park, okay? Those are all included. Basically, it's an area, maybe multiple blocks with certain small little roads, right? A boundary that we define. How do you effectively manage them? Okay? So, we know campus today are facing many different challenges like operating costs, lack of refined management, and insufficient protections of core assets, right? So, some of the new technology development in the field like IoT, big data, AI, I think we have a lot of technology that we can apply in making the campus smarter. Okay? So basically the scope of smart campus, in fact, is very wide. And why Huawei focus on this is because we actually, throughout the years, we built safe city solution, smart city solution. We built IOC, integrated operation center. So we have many components of solution. Then one day we realized that actually these are all trying to make the campus smart. And we actually came out with this framework. So we are actually half of our journey done. And now we are going to the industry to bring partners in to help us to fill in some of the gaps. All right? Okay, so some of the scopes that we look at, right, include things like green energy, smart lighting, access, smart construction, estate management, right? Video analytics, integrated operations center, all that. So you can see that, you know, this is actually quite a wide range of solutions, you know. And to me, each of you cannot achieve this. Even company like Huawei cannot achieve this. We got to work together. We got to unite the effort, put together all our solution and our expertise, then we can address certain part of this smart campus, right? Okay, now in terms of market size, we do some calculation. We know roughly about 20 industry park and many HDB blocks in Singapore, 500 industry estate and 18 free industry zones are in Malaysia, and in Indonesia about 70 industry parks. So they do have certain size, right? Each industry park, when you implement, you're talking about multi-million-dollar. So definitely there's a good market, even just talking about in our neighbor country. Then we talk about Asia, we talk about worldwide, right? There's a lot more opportunities there, all right? Okay, so we talk about retail, we talk about smart campus. So this is actually one of the industry framework that we have created. All right, based on our consultation and some of the projects that we have done, in other parts of, of the world. So we conveniently take some of the things that Huawei's consultant has done, we put it together. At the same time, some part of it also came from IDC, because I did conduct, some interfacing and interaction with IDC and get their feedbacks on the framework. So we put some of the frameworks together. So what you see, this framework here basically covers 4 big pieces, right? At the center, you can see this is a front-end application, back-end operation system, central kitchen system, and supply chain system. So front-end, we have point of sales, e-payment, kiosk, e-commerce. Back-end, we have things like procurement, inventory management, kitchen operation, order management, workforce management. And then central kitchen, these are things like receipt, food preparation, dispatch, all that. So, and then you have the corporate support like loyalty program, audits, finance, HR, leave, application, reporting, all that. Now, when you put all these things together, you realize that any of the shops or, whether it's F&B or it's a retail shop, you may need some of these applications, right? And whatever you need today, you do pick and choose. And then you implement it, so you have contact number 1, company number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when problem starts, finger pointing, you have a big problem. So our idea is try to find SMEs in a field that has already pre-integrated some of the solutions, put them together, all right? And then we find a system integrator to work with all these SMEs. When they say all, we cannot put 20 people together. I think it will become a war zone, right? So we are looking at maybe 3 or 4, enough for us to package the solution together, and then we can move on from there, all right? Because 3 or 4, I think is a good team size, then plus 1 system integrator, and that will be a, effective size that we can manage, okay? But of course, outcome we don't know yet. We have to look at some of the submissions that you have, okay? Can I just have a show of hand? How many of you are working on solution in the retail area? Retail. Only 1, 2, only 2. Only 2? Okay, anyway, we hope we can, the first round we got almost like quite a good response, no? 17 different proposals. So hopefully this round we got something, something better, okay? Okay, now if you map some of these frameworks, right, into the real application, this is what you see, right? Digital PO, point of sales, supply chain, employee time attendance, CCTV solution, report analytics, e-learning, and many more loyalty program, digital advertising, sorry. So this is really on the retail side. Now what about on the smart campus? So smart campus area, okay, this is really looking at the service design part, right? Essentially, okay, anyway, I don't have much time, so the slide we'll share with you, you can digest, right? So essentially in this slide, we're talking about more like 3 big areas, like logistics services, community services, and management services. One targeting at things like order, environment, mechanical and electrical device maintenance, all that. The other one more focusing on enterprise services, and the last one on committees, more committee services. Okay. Now, if you in one of the use case, right, we have in Singapore typically, if you are staying in condos, right, I don't know how many of you realize that a lot of this condo management today is still done very manually. Correct or not? And then some may have certain degree of automation, but you realize that is different shape, different size. If you move from one condo to the other condo, your process all change, all differently, all done differently. So things like personal management, smart parking, energy management, security, asset, some of these applications, what we are thinking about is really some of these integrated solutions will help to streamline, to unify, the industry solution, like smart condo. And then the smart campus, smart building, you have different other areas that we can focusing on, all right? So this is actually one in terms from the perspective of service design. This is how it looks, how the services stack up. Now from the architecture area, you realize that there are few components. You have the device portion, right? IoT gateway, campus IoT, because when you want to build a smart campus, you need a lot of sensors, right? So IoT sensors will come in, right? And then you can write on top of the network, whether it's wireless or fixed network, right? Using fiber or using the wireless. So wireless can be Wi-Fi, or it can be other communication technology like ELT, NB-IoT, all that, okay? And then on top of it, the platform, this is the one that for years we have been doing. We have a video platform, we have an IoT platform, we have a big data platform, and obviously we have a cloud platform. Okay? All these will be running on our cloud, and for smart application, this is the one that we want the SMEs to help us. Your application will come in, because from Huawei perspective, we are a product company. We build a lot of we build a lot of products, design a lot of products, we build a lot of platforms, but we don't touch the application. Application not an area that we wanted to invest on yet at this moment. So we're relying on the third-party SMB like you guys to help us, right? So that is the part that we are wanting to look at, how innovative is your solution to fit in here. But we do have done certain part of it. So one of the areas I can think of is for the result. The result is really like, for example, IOC dashboard. The Integrated Operations Center. We have done one for Shenzhen Longkang. It's very comprehensive. We collect all the government data, put it together, we do analytics, and we come with all the dashboards. So today they can do all the tracking like fighting the crime. They can do things like monitoring the rainfall. They can monitor the street, crime rate, the traffics, even the landslides, and some of the hazardous installation, right? When it started to give problem at certain threshold, they will have certain kind of alarms, okay? And some of these are the potential innovative solutions that you can think about, for smart campus. Things like facial recognition, license plate recognition, intrusion detection, video search, video synopsis, from 5 hours become 10 minutes, those kind of solutions, and many others. Okay? So these are also basically aligned with what is going on today, in the industry. I think if you look at some of the exhibition, a lot of facial recognition out there, right? People look at video, how the video can do wonders today. How can you convert the unstructured data to structured? These are all the things that, a lot of companies out there are doing. And for energy efficiency management, this is actually another big area. So smart campus, I think, to make it smart, energy consumption is one big area. So there are a lot of companies also focusing in this. I don't know how many of your companies here are looking at green energy. So this is actually one aspect of solution that we are looking at for the smart campus. Okay? So how to participate in this program? First, you have to register. It's a registered company in Singapore. Right, we run your IMDA. IMDA is helping the local company. So I would say that it must be at least a Singapore company, right? Okay? Must be a solution provider and or system integrator developing innovative retail and smart campus solution. So need to have some focus on innovation. Right? So if you have some of the basic bread and butter applications, can also participate. We have to look at it in totality. Okay? And solution provider must address the problem statement that I presented earlier, the two problems. Okay, now submission, we are looking at 6th of July. Today is 5th of June, about a month time. All right, we hope to hear from you guys. What we are looking at, something similar. I think not a lot of work, 15 slides only. Why slides? Why not word? Because you tell people word, wow, got to write. So I'd rather take your solution, very simple, right? But must be to the point. So first, problem statement to be resolved, right? Then propose solution. What kind of solution or the problem that you are going to solve? Are you going to participate in the retail? Are you going to participate in the smart campus? And which part of smart campus? Is it green energy? Is it video analytic portion or whatever, right? Then the next part is business proposition. Proposition in terms of include the marketing plan, business model. Because once you have a solution, I know a lot of Tauke here think a lot. Wow, I have this application. With this application, it's going to capture this market and make millions of dollars for me. And then I can conquer Singapore first, then go China, then worldwide. Okay, so you can dream big, and we want somebody like you to dream big, right? Because as you dream, then you have a future. Okay, but of course, this dream we need to quantify. Some dreams are really too big. Okay, but we need to bring you down to reality sometime, but we will see how. Next is on what is needed from this program, like what kind of solution, what kind of resources you need, what kind of support you need, right? So that we can look at, to be able to address this solution, what kind of resources we can provide. So for example, you tell me, say, I want to do a HPC, HPC solution. Now my CSIC, my OpenNet don't have a HPC resource. And HPC resource is very expensive, so I cannot do that. So I need to tell me what is needed from this program, and then very importantly the team, right? How the team structure like. Some of them is partnering different companies to create a solution. We need to know your team structure, company structure, how you work together. All right. Contact-wise, you can put myself. You can talk to me. takeone.neo@huawei.com, or you can put Eveline. Eveline is here, so you can CC to both of us for your submission of your paper, right? By 6th of July. Okay? Selection criteria, we didn't change it. So for those of you who attended the last industry briefing, that was 6 months ago, we set 4 criteria, 25% more on strategy towards challenges, 25% more on innovation, 25% on the business part of it, that is the value and usability, and the last part is technical part. All right, the business, the technical, the innovation part, and the first part is how you address the challenges. Okay. So timeline-wise for this program, now this is track 1, round 2. This is a point solution. We are looking at getting the submission by July, right? And then we will definitely contact you. So depending on how many of your solution. The last round we received 17, so we give chance to all 17. Everybody come in and present. All right. So if this round I receive 100, then I got to shortlist because we cannot get 100 of them to present. But okay. So depending on how many we receive, we'll change the plan accordingly. And then we will complete evaluation after the presentation, and then we'll do the, we will do some of the, the onboarding, and then do the integration and certification test, to bring you on board, and then do the solution itself. Okay? Let me see. I think this slide I will adjust it a little bit. I think there are some issue because normally for onboarding it take a while. Right, this whole part is more like after I shortlisted the effort to integrate, we need to provide resource so that you can actually come in to do the testing, and the testing will take time. All right, but ultimately what we are trying to do is deployment somewhere towards December. Okay. Now there is another one on the track 2. So track 2 basically is talking about integrated solution, right? Now this part is a bit more tricky, right? We look at it is our track 1 will finish everything shortlisting somewhere in September. That means we have selected all the partners. So this one will start somewhere in September onwards. Okay. So September onwards, what we do is we look at all of you, with all the shortlisted vendor, you can look at some of the team formation. This job can be triggered by Huawei because we know the solution. It can also be triggered by you guys. So if you know a few partners that have this integrated solution, you can be the solution, you can be a problem owner and get a team together, forming the team. After forming the team, you need to do the concept paper. Okay, and do the, what you call it, the submission on the September, I think probably end of September. And then we can do the presentation and do a review. So we have a total of about 3 months to do that. And now after these 3 months, right, once it's done, right, the actual work will be on the grant application itself, which is somewhere in December to January. So grant means money from IDA, all right? So IDA will, IMDA, sorry, from the government. So from the government, the IMDA actually administer that funding. Now, this grant, we probably look at maybe fastest is 1 month, slowest maybe 2 months. And then we can really start doing the solution integration. After solution integration, of course, obviously, we need to have the integrated solution roll out with solution partners. Now, two catch here. First, your concept paper. These are more demanding, right? You need to highlight things at the background, project scope, duration, technical solution, and partner solution. Problem that this solution will solve, description of POC, project team, estimated project cost for the developments. Okay? So you need to do some work when it comes to getting grants. Okay? And one more part is, mandate requirement is the problem statement owner must be identified and committed. You don't require any legal signing, but you must have a problem owner. And the problem owner has to be committed that, yes, when this solution integration is done, that whatever defined in the concept paper once done, they need to eventually run it and commit it. That means once it's done, they will deploy it and they will pay. So this is more, that's why I put in red, because this is a more difficult part, to get the commitment. But we will help ourselves. We'll try to find, IMDA will try to help. And if you are, you are very good in the market that you can really command somebody, say, let's go, I need to talk to you. Okay? So benefits for being selected, again, these are what we have highlighted, in the last review. Using Huawei breadth of the global presence in the telecommunication space, right? Share more ideas of different use cases and innovation globally, and then maximize the technology enablement platform like Open Lab to validate the solution, all right? And once your solution is what you call certified, right? You can actually go into our partner business network, right? You probably have more opportunities, and you can work with the rest of the people in the same group, right? And the last part is IMDA support on development of capabilities and promote companies to the industry by providing things like grants, helps, all that. So these are really all the benefits that you are going to get. Okay. Last slide last slide. What I'm trying to highlight is when you talk about these whole programs, right? One slide to cover everything, right? We see IMDA to be the program office for this SVP, and Huawei provide a global platform. Run this strategy partnership program to bring Singapore SME, right, into this program. And for solution gaps, we will bring our global partners in. So our global partners, you can see that is we have many thousands of channel partners, solution partners, and service partners. Now, what you do is, in this program, eventually, first phase is looking at getting a local service provider, targeting the local market. Get your solution sell to the local market. This is actually the incubation phase, right? Just now I mentioned. And then from the incubation phase, when a solution is ready, move down to Huawei various facility to bring it to the global market. All right, so that is really our intent. Okay? And a lot of things happen in this box here, right? So what happened in this box here? If it's a silo solution like point solution, you can go this path. If it's an integrated solution, need a lot more build, and then you got to find owner so that eventually you still can go to the same path. and the local market will be the owner. The owner will foot the bill, for the solution for the project. And then if the solution is really good, you can then go through our CSIC to showcase, and we can replicate to the global market. All right? Question answer. Later. So maybe I think I'll stop here. No question answer, as I told. So any question or any Q&A, we will address it later. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Neo. And lastly, we have Mr. Daryl Zhang, Business Development Director of High Life Interactive Private Limited. He spearheads business development and partnership with smart technology sector in Singapore and other regions such as Vietnam and Sri Lanka. Mr. Zhang, please.
I'll just take this. Hey, sorry, give me a while they fix up the slides, huh? Or maybe while they are waiting to fix up the slides, I can do a quick introduction about the company first, so that we can just spearhead into our topic for discussion today. Okay, my name is Daryl Zhang. I'm a representative of this local Singapore-based company called High Life Interactive Private Limited. This company started around, I would say, close to 4 years ago. And just like Mr. Neo mentioned, some disruptions in the property market. This is what High Life is all about. We started off 4 years ago building a mobile app to help you to book facilities, to help you to pay your maintenance fees, pay your deposits, or even complain about a condo management through a mobile app. Last time, probably 5 years ago, you have to still write a letter or complain, go to the condominium office, put a check of $50 to book the function room. But we have made changes to this market, and I'm very, very proud to say that right now in Singapore, we have more than 160 condominiums in Singapore using High Life. Yep. So this is actually some of the slides. This is what I wanted to talk about. So High Life, we are Singapore's leading smart living solution provider. Started in 2014. And at the same time, we have been providing, I would say that I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about this development called the Visionaire. Back in, I would say that 2016, it was the first smart home EC, executive condominium, to be launched here in Singapore. So we are the ones who provided the smart community solutions, the smart home solutions, in a way to disrupt this entire property market. So since then, we have grown in leaps and bounds. Even recently, I would say back in April and May, this was two key milestones in the company's roadmap, in which we secured a project, a partnership with two of the largest regional property developers, Ananda Development, John Keel's property in Bangkok, and also in Sri Lanka, respectively. This was how far the company has grown. We have grown from a simple mobile app company into one that provides smart home solutions, into one that's even providing smart infrastructure, like a visitor management system. So which I'll speak a little bit more in a while. So just like I mentioned, 3 main business units of High Life. Smart community, very simple. Mobile app to book facilities, to pay bills, to complain, to get information, news about your development. We have smart homes. Smart homes, how do we improve your life? Probably you guys have seen. Once you step in a home, press a button, lights will turn on, fan will turn on. When you leave home, well, home arm itself and things like that. Infrastructure. We have moved into infrastructure over the last 1.5 years. And this includes video intercom system, CCTV management system, even energy metering, smart lighting, car park management systems that we're able to provide as a one-suite service to property developers here in Singapore and to the region. We coined this concept smart living. Smart living to us, five simple key components. We call it CHESS, C-H-E-S-S. Convenience, health, elder care, security, safety. And I'm going to touch on a couple of examples of what we do here over at High Life. Probably you guys know about smart homes. With smart air conditioners, you can just press a button. I'm 15 minutes away from home. I have some guests coming. Pre-cool my house. I can complete my laundry just before I reach home. Well, if my mom is outside my house right now, I can even use my mobile phone, press a button, or even give her a one-time password to enter my house. Well, or even my domestic helper. Turn on the lights before I go to sleep. Just say, just go to Alexa, I'm going to sleep. You turn off your lights, check everything's turned off, and you'll say goodnight to you. So this is just some of what a smart home is able to do, to the kind of convenience it's able to bring to you. There's also, this is something which I talk about, a visitor management system. What is it all about? So to say, for example, today I know that Mr. Neo is coming to my house from 4 to 7 p.m. I can pre-register him as a visitor, his car plate number, such that when he drives to my security gantry, it opens automatically for him, prints out a visitor slip, and he even has a QR code that he can scan at lift lobby to get access to my floor level. This is what we call convenience, but not compromising security. Yep. Of course, who can forget our dear friends Amazon and Google? Voice controls. This is what we have been talking about in this entire smart home industry. How to use voice controls rather than using your phone, a much more intuitive way of controls and commands of your house. That's a lot more on the convenience side. About healthcare, we have been introducing, especially in the upcoming launch for property condominium here in Singapore. That's going to happen in, I would say, mid-August. An integrated smart sink with dishwashing, water purification capabilities. One good thing that it's able to do, I'm even able to get information about your salt intake, your oil intake based on the food residue. Or even I actually have a vegetable washer, fruit washer down there. It can tell you how much your pesticide level of the fruit, of the vegetable that you bought from NTUC or from Giant. So this is what technology can bring and disrupt this market. On elderly care, no more wearing wearables. Sleep sensors, non-intrusive, non-wearable. You can put it over your bed, over your mattress, under your mattress, over your pillows. It's able to monitor, track, and analyze the sleep quality. So a lot of you guys might be asking, so what's the thing about monitoring my sleep cycle and my sleep quality? What can it do for me? Ultimately, we are talking about how we can help to save a life through a smart living solution. Let's say, for example, an elderly is at home and suddenly something happened, abnormality happened. There is seizures detected. What happens is an alert is sent to the next of kin who is not at home. Son can call the father, nobody's answer because he is down. He can call the security guard through a mobile app. And from there, security guard gains access to a lift lobby, stands outside the house. From here, let's say I'm the son, I can even provide a one-time password for the security guard to get access into my house. And maybe this could help save the father. So this is what we call about what kind of use cases that we can always bring about through technology. Yep, even to the extent of saving a life. Lastly, on home security. So we have been talking about smart door locks. I believe that 50% of homeowners are using smart door locks from Yale, from Samsung, from other brands. Of course, there are still many of such things around. So if you are talking about, this is a lot more applicable to the overseas market where Airbnb is a lot more in abundance. So if you're looking at renting out your house, you no longer have to think about, well, after my tenant moves out, I need to change my lock. You can be even not giving any keys or access card to your tenant, just giving them a one-time password that lasts for a year. That's all it does. After a year, this password doesn't work anymore. So there's no leak or log replacement after a tenant moves out. This is what we call convenience. Lastly, this is an estate safety. Very, very much in sync with what Mr. Neo was talking about smart campuses. Asset management right at our fingertips. So technology like, for example, smoke detectors, water meters, energy meters, vehicle visitor management system, public lighting, parking sensors in a washing bay. All this comes in an asset management platform solution, whereby condo managers actually is more empowered to know what's happening in the estate. A screen to show, is the visitor lots, how many of the visitor lots are full? Anybody hogging the handicap lot? Anybody using my washing bay? Things like this. These are kind of information. What we call is a digital map of the development. And with that, this is where I would like to introduce some of the collaboration, parts of the collaboration that we have together with Huawei. I believe that smoke detectors, you guys might have seen a lot, but what about 5G narrowband NB-IoT powered smoke detectors? These are smoke detectors that are running 24/7. That's run on a SIM card rather than on a Wi-Fi network or any other networks. Highly secured. I would say that it's also a lot more easily accessible. Ensures 100% uptime, seamless connectivity, and this will form the basis of a unified asset management platform. So this is one of the examples of collaboration that we dealt together with Huawei and a telco. So to make this dream come true. So even with that, smart lighting. How can we talk about smart lighting? Smart lighting is no longer just about having smart light bulbs or smart switches. But these are light bulbs, these are light fixtures that is powered by NB-IoT. In short, through a unified platform, I'm able to see which lights is on, which lights is off from a security guard's perspective. If anything is down, I'm able to know right now so that I can replace it. This actually helps to remove, I would say reduce the operation cost by an estimated 50% or even lower your power consumption by 20% through a lot more intelligent operation of your estate. A smart fire system, this is what I talked about, having smart smoke detectors. Condo manager is able to know from every single unit of the estate, what's the status of the smoke detectors? Are they on? Are they off? Is there a detection alarm? Yep. So advantages of using an NB-IoT based solution, like I mentioned, installation cost can be lower as much as 90%. No wires required, you just need a SIM card. That's all you require. Easy deployment, maintenance, one single network for your entire campus, for your entire condominium. Smart parking as well. So if you look at it from the slide over here, this is what we call the embedded vehicle detectors. Also same thing. We are running them based on NB-IoT technologies. In short, I'm able to know how many lots are filled. Security guard is able to know, out of my 30 visitor lots, 10 of them are available, so that I can still let people in. But otherwise, I will tell them the car park is full. Yep. So lowering the labor costs, searching for parking lots a lot more conveniently, even to the extent, integration with a payment app, that I can be paying my bills, my parking, through a mobile app. So this is just one, I would say 6 key advantages of using NB-IoT. Better coverage, works with affordable computational boards, friendly battery usage. Usually, I would say that one single battery charge for a smoke detector, 3 years, minimum. Yep, bidirectional data transfer. Most importantly, secure and private connections. You're not running through a router, you're not running through a third party. You're running directly through the telco. How much more secure can I get? And ultimately, flexible transmission rate. So in this couple of slides, I'm going to talk a bit more about how High Life, we work together with Huawei, and how it has helped the company to grow to this extent. So a lot of people always ask, hey, High Life, you guys are just doing a mobile app. How do you guys work with Huawei? What are areas of collaboration with Huawei? First of all, I believe that a lot of you guys would probably know, Huawei, they have their own IoT cloud. So part of our solution, smart home, smart community solutions, are actually hosted on the Huawei IoT cloud. Enterprise level, enterprise grade, maximum security. Yep, that's one thing. And on the other side, collaboration with Huawei. This is on where we play to the strengths of a giant like Huawei. Huawei has strengths in hardware, in chipsets, in the ability for your telco network devices. And this is where we started working together. I believe that was a couple of months ago. We started talking together. Why not let's run our smoke detectors on NB-IoT, on the upcoming 5G network for our new condo launches? Why not? So we collaborated with them. We worked together with them. They brought us to a telco. It became a three-partner relationship. The telco, the hardware expertise, the hardware expert, and application providers like ourselves here at HighLife. So it became a very simple conversation from then on. So that was when we collaborated with Huawei on both hardware, software, especially on the NB-IoT network framework. I showed a couple of examples of how 5G NB-IoT can be applied in smart condominiums, residential condominiums. That's where our area expertise is. And of course, with that, if you think about it this way, from an SME perspective, what do you gain a lot from here? You gain the credibility factor. If I'm a new startup, 6 months old, and I'm going to Singtel, StarHub, or M1, tell them, hey, I want to work with you on a pilot, do you think they'll want to work with me? High chance. They will ask a lot more questions about, are you able to deliver? But with the POC, with the various rounds of testings with Huawei, this brings confidence even to my end solution providers, my end clients, that, hey, a big giant, Huawei is coming together, we are providing solution together with a telco. How much more credible can they get? So it brings up this value to small and medium enterprises like ourselves. So when it comes to product launch, significantly reduces development time frame with Huawei as a mentor, as a partner. This is where they also bring expertise to the table. And most importantly, how do we talk about growing and scaling? HighLife, of course, we do have our own business sales team to run our global. Right now, I'm currently running the regional sales team for especially looking at Thailand, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines market, property developers. How to move HighLife into this. I believe that this is where we can work together with Huawei, who has, I would say that, so many points, so many centers of excellence around, that they could help link us with a telco, with some of the partners. So the global distribution network built by both HighLife and Huawei will play a significant role in scaling and replicating this solution quickly, regionally, internationally. And with this, what we're hoping to create a win-win situation collaboration model between all parties involved. So very simple, 5 simple steps of collaboration. Which are the areas? Identify the ways you want to collaborate. How do you collaborate? Scope up what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps of collaboration to reach your endpoint. And lastly, how do you scale? Leverage onto each other's strengths and scaling. This is what our main key focus on the collaboration model is all about. Yep, so I would just like to summarize over here 6 key points on how do we grow together. Well, of course, co-branding, just like I mentioned, test certified by Huawei, which gives potential clients a greater confidence in the company. That's really number 1. Number 2, flexible business model. Adoption of the IoT cloud on our side allows HighLife to scale our back-end operations easily without any much more hassle. Solution sales, of course, when co-marketed together with a partner like Huawei, can actually access Huawei sales pipelines. This can actually help to escalate, to move the sales cycle a lot faster. Going to market, like this is a typical example. We are brought here through exhibition together at InnoFest. We have showcased to the people coming to InnoFest. We have, I would say that this morning I met a couple of potential partners that we can possibly work with. This is what we call exposure. Well, through exhibition, summit, showcases Huawei, we're able to demonstrate, market our solutions better to our potential clients. And lastly, about internationalization, yes, more. Regional, international expansion, this is where we can work closely together, create win-win situations for both parties. Yep, looking ahead, this is really my last slide. Just a summary, what's up for 2018. Like I mentioned, we have already signed up. I met my KPI for this year, 3 countries. We secured a deal in Bangkok, we got one in Sri Lanka, Singapore, I'm shooting for another 2. Yep. In terms of total devices, these are just numbers. Total number of smart households deployed this year. There's an upcoming 600 households that's going to be deployed with our Highlight Smart Home solutions in the next 3 months, and many much more in the years ahead. Over the last 2 years, the key focus of Highlight has been on two main things: branding, market share. And in case I left this out, we are actually a market leader in this entire smart condominium space with more than 160 condominiums already using a mobile app. Well, while most of our competitors are just having 20, 30 condos each. Yep, we're definitely far ahead. But what's up next? We do not just want to be a mobile app company. We want to mash up solution, what we call entire whole smart living solution company. Extending this partnership model into smart home, smart community, the Huawei IoT Cloud, along with NB-IoT technology, that got us very excited. This is how we can differentiate ourselves against our competitors. And we'll power the backend of both the entire, whole Highlight Smart Living Solutions, and to build a stronger foundation to achieving our goal here in 2018. So this is just a quick introduction about our company, how we collaborated, how are the key things that we work together, and what kind of benefits they have brought over to us. So with that, thank you very much. More than happy to have any questions. I understand that there's a Q&A session, so any questions, please raise over. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. I almost think I'll lose my job as a moderator because they all sell so well. So I now invite Eveline from IMDA as well as Mr. Neo to come on to the stage. Of course, Gerald to stay on. I think we have about 10 minutes at most for you to ask any questions. If you can turn out, okay, this already is showing you that there are 2 sets of questions. You can use Lido.com to also ask more questions, or you can also shout out and raise your hand because of a shortage of time, right? Okay, let me just jump right in. I'm not going to summarize what they have mentioned and talk about. You've heard about the policies, the improvements that IMDA is doing, what Huawei is going to do. I think if I search keywords, it will actually blast the whole internet now because it's mentioned so many times. Okay, so I think we can move on. All right, first question. How do you think... Oops. Okay, can you please flip to the... Okay, never mind. How strategic... Okay, it's an eye testing competition. How strategic is the position of Singapore's SMEs compared with other markets? I think this is very important, right? Because we don't want to just come in and say that, oh, everything is so good, we are a smart nation, we have everything, you know, go jump in and start your company, quit the job. So I think we have to be a bit more measured when we talk about how competitive we are in other markets. And I guess this question will be best answered by Huawei. And then Gerald can talk about your experience in the region, right? What are the challenges you have? So maybe, Neo, you want to talk about...
How strategic? I think the reason why we run the SBB program in Singapore, because we look at Singapore, you have a very stable infrastructure, and then we look at education system, we look at the capability of the people. So the talents are here. So using all these talents, I think that is a very fundamental area of strategy that we think the SME here can build good solutions. The only thing that when you say compared to other markets, right? Is that Singapore the market is very small. So the problem with the small market, when you build something compared to a country like China, is that there's a lot more vast market that you can look at, a solution that you can deploy, you can do the proving of proof of concept, you can trial and error. So what we felt is that locally is more niche, industry solution for the SME. But for some of the more larger market, you're talking about the voluminous kind of nature of business, then the SME in their country like China will actually have a better advantage.
Okay, but you chose retail and smart campus. So how many countries or how many markets are there, for us to go in there? And why do you choose these 2 industries? Okay,
now the first part about retail is, I think when you look at retail, right, every country will need this, right? Everybody need to eat, right? So you have an F&B area, and then you'll go shopping, right? Everybody goes shopping, right? I mean, you see many malls in Malaysia, in the Philippines, in Indonesia, all these are the nearby country. So we see that this is actually one big industry, and in fact, every time we talk about, with the industry analysts, retail is actually one very important area.
Despite the fact that there are so much going online, you think there's still business in retail?
And if you are the small, medium enterprise, right, I think it's a good market to start because the solution, can be very scaled, very, very small. Now, why we choose the other one, the smart campus, is because, in a lot of solutions, we started doing all the different technology and platform, and then we built safe city solution, and then we built smart city solution. And through so many years, right, we accumulate all our experience and knowledge, and also the tool set that we created. We realized that, we actually have done a lot, to create the infrastructure services needed for smart campus. So in short, our journey is already halfway. So we wanted to extend, these capabilities from there.
Okay, thanks. Gerald, you want to talk about what challenges are there rather than, okay, it's great, let's fit a lot of sensors around the house. What are the challenges that the SME face? Are we so good you can, just go in and plug into the technologies of Huawei and start selling? Sure. Can you tell us the challenges?
Okay, in terms of the technology perspective about moving in the new market, this has switched over to, my portfolio has switched over to regional role over, I would say only over the last 6 months. Yeah, and why so is because we know that if we want to grow into big brand, there's definitely a need to grow overseas. So that's the first thing. So what do I've been in talks with people like Ananda, John Kills, these are like listed companies. They are like number 1, number 2 companies in their respective areas back in the country. What do they think about working with a new company? I believe that there's really a lot to convince that one thing top of their head is whether, hey, can this small little company with a $1.5 million paid up capital can deliver what we want? How can we ensure that 2 years down the road they're still around? These are the questions constantly at the top of the mind. So with this in place, this is where as an SME, you have to instill confidence, especially in your clients, that you are able to do. And one of the more practical ways to do that is bringing a strong partner. So our company is a little bit lucky that we actually have investment of a major property developer here in Singapore, which instilled greater confidence when even we speak to other developers. And even to the extent, coming out of different business collaborations that we can all work together. Yeah. So this is where I feel that big challenges, the questions on whether can you deliver, can you bring things over, that's number 1. And number 2, localization is also a big thing. Take for example, smart community mobile apps. Here in Singapore, top frequently most used feature in our mobile app is facility booking. Every Saturday, Sundays, function rooms gets booked, barbecue pits get booked. But this is never an issue in Bangkok. But in Bangkok, the number 1 key issue that they had then is parcel management. Because when you buy something from, say, Lazada or Shopee, there is no way for that person to deliver to your house. He will have to leave it at the condo office, and the condo office will be piled out with multiple items. And how do we manage such things? That's the key thing. So you got to think about localization too.
All right, but for all that you say, someone in Thailand as an SME can also beat you to the same business model, be cheaper, and offer the same same solution that can plug on to Huawei. So how do you handle that, right?
That's when I believe that it really depends. It's in the company's culture, the company's DNA, to bring something a lot more innovative. Bring some things that people do not have. I believe that if I'm getting my I would say, for example, my smoke detector sensors from a factory in China, they could have got it in China too. But how do I value add that? The know-how on doing this business, the software side, I would say the entire complete package. There was even one developer, what we did was, we even offered to set up their show flat, train their property agents on how to better sell smart homes, because they did not have the experience of doing so. Which they liked it, because to them, they're just paying a 1 fee, and they get a 1 full suite of services, including marketing, show flat setup, hardware, software, every single thing. In short, over here in Singapore, got just a bao ka liao service. Yep.
All right, thank you. So this is definitely a question for government agencies. So Eveline, please answer this question. how suitable is Singapore's environment for all the rules and regulations, because we are so law-abiding in Singapore, right? So when you go beyond Singapore, is it going to help them because they have already been well cultured to handle such a more stringent environment? Can you give some examples of, because we have test bedding facilities these days, at the same time, we also very structured rules and environment for, the startups and SMEs to go beyond Singapore. What is your experience?
Okay, from what I understand from my colleagues who are actually quite active, especially this year doing internationalization. So in Singapore, IMDA has been talking about digital economy and getting companies to digitalize. So we recognize that Singapore's market is really too small for companies to grow and scale. And if you want to grow digital champions out of Singapore, you have to go overseas. And therefore, also the active participation by IMDA to work closely with MNCs to really open doors overseas. So if you ask, is there opportunities? Yes. But are our startups, are our local companies ready? Some has the appetite, but we recognize that SMEs to go alone overseas can be a challenge. First of all, you don't understand the culture. The demographics is different, like what he mentioned. You need to localize, you need to understand. So there have been active collaboration between IMDA and ESG in helping SMEs to go overseas, and you probably hear a lot more. In fact, this is timely because we are also looking at companies who are keen to go over to China right now, and my team, my colleagues in internationalization is asking me who are the local ICT SMEs who are keen to go to market in China and Indonesia. Do we know who are they? So I'll invite all of you, if you are keen to go to China, other than collaborating with Huawei through this platform, let us know, write to me, so that I can keep my internationalization team informed and they can help facilitate as well. There are also landing points that they are actively working out so that when you land there, you have facilities to be there 6 months free, I understand, from some of the partners in China, so that you can comb the market there, understand it a bit better, and they'll then facilitate connections to legal facilities, services, etc. to help you set up. So yeah, so all is not lost. Even though you're small, there's a lot of effort being put in by the government to help you go overseas.
Okay, all right. I think we have time for 1 or 2 questions from the floor. Anybody want to raise a hand and shout out a question? No one? Okay. Because of the next session starting soon, so perhaps I can just, as usual, ask for short takeaway, words of wisdom from each one of you folks. For you, don't sell your company, no more selling already. Yes, please.
Sure. Okay, so for my side, maybe some takeaways. I'm probably the smallest enterprise boy down here among everybody here. So for a small SME, for a startup company, I ran a couple of startups before, and some failed, some okay, some exited. But I have to say that where startups should always come from is that you have to think big. You have to think regional. You have to think international. Yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures that goes, hey, first I want to take over the Singapore market, then after that I'm going to go to Malaysia, Thailand, then after that I'm going to go into the Chinese market, or even the global market and the US market. Yes, these are things that you always talk about. I used to talk about such things, but what's very, very, very important is how do you chart towards these milestones? How do you work hard towards this milestone? I think that's something that a lot of people, including myself, failed a few times. And that is, think big, think regional. I think that's very important for SME to grow.
Sure. Okay, thanks. Eveline?
So for me, is with a platform like this in Innovfest Unbound, there are plenty of partners out here. Today we have brought, through this strategic collaboration, Huawei here with you. But outside there are so many partners. Do make full use of these 2 days to network, find potential partners to link with, and I hope you all grow and become digital champions of tomorrow.
Thanks.
For me, the only thing I just want to share with you guys is that actually for the SME in Singapore, you guys are a very fortunate group. I used to go to countries like Philippines, Indonesia. They say, grants, what are grants? Support, subsidies, where are all this, The country don't help them. So you guys are actually one very fortunate group that, the government, the IMDA, there are many programs, there are many subsidies, all that are going on to help you. And the most important things for you is to think big, dream big, right? Because only have dreams, then you will have the drive. And a lot of times, in the last presentation I had with in DBS business class, there's one of the tauke, we call it tauke, small little tauke say, you must be forgiving in terms of failures, because especially for SME when you're in R&D, right, innovation do have failures. So when it fails, you need to be able to let your staff, let your people, another second chance, because that is actually something very important for the SMEs.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much to all the panelists. Maybe we could give them a hand of applause for standing to all the questions and answers.